Good afternoon. Welcome back. It is Saturday, February 18th, 2023. We are here for some birthdays and big events of today. Of course, we all know what happened on this date in 2001, so we're not going to dwell too much on that fact because we want to keep this video as, I don't want to say as positive and happy as possible, but there's been enough said and enough shown and enough done on this date to remember that horrible day back in 2001 if you're a NASCAR fan. I'm just scrolling through the list here real quick to double check and make sure of other events. Of course, on this date in 1979, the big fight between Cale and Donnie on the last lap crash of the Daytona 500. That was the first flag-to-flag coverage of the race by CBS, which really opened the door for NASCAR in terms of a TV ratings grab in the networks and everybody taking NASCAR a little more seriously. Kind of helped escalate the growth. Just kind of scrolling through here and look at some of the other races. Derek Cope won this race on this date in 1990 for his first of two Cup Series wins. Of course, he won later that year at Dover, Delaware in an upset. I don't want to call that one an upset because he really dominated that race. He did really good that day. On this date in 1995, Chad Little won the Busch Series race for his first career Busch Series win, and it was the first win in the 1990s at Daytona in the Busch Series other than a driver named Dale Earnhardt. So that was kind of an impressive feat, but it was also the first year that Dale Earnhardt did not compete in the Busch Series any further. On this date in 2000, Mike Wallace won the inaugural truck race, and of course that that race was highlighted by the brutal crash of Jeffrey Bodine. A lot of injuries suffered by him in that crash, but he did come back to race later that season. Of course, we talked about the 2001 Daytona 500, highlighted by Michael Waltrip's first career win, and Mikey said many times that was the best and worst day of his life, all within 15 minutes. And we're just kind of scrolling through, and it's all almost exclusively Daytona 500. On this date in 2005, Bobby Hamilton won the truck race at Daytona. Go back and watch that one. Find that one on YouTube, the Florida Dodge Dealers 250. It's a very entertaining race. Lots of crashes, lots of controversy in that race, especially the finish. Trying to see if there's anything else here that's really... Michael Waltrip, 10 years to the date that Dale passed. Mikey did win the truck race, his first truck race at Daytona, also driving a vehicle numbered 15. So a little irony there. And I don't see anything else. Of course, I guess 2018, Austin Dillon, on the 20th year of Dale Sr.'s Daytona 500 win, Austin also wins the Daytona 500 in a car number 3. We do have a couple cardless birthdays to celebrate here. I thought I had one of this guy, but I didn't. Former IndyCar/Champ Car driver Jim McElreath, born on this date in 1928. He's only got 3 cards, and I thought maybe he was definitely in one of those A&S sets or All World or whatever, but he's not. He's got a couple cards from Avalon Hill, 79 and 80, and then a card from a 2022 set, which I thought was really strange. But I do not have any of those. And this, of course, according to Trading Card Database. But I checked through my cards. I couldn't find anything, just to be sure. I had another one marked down here. Yes, Eddie DeHaan was born on this date in, I can't read it, 1959. And then we do have a few card birthdays here, which we will celebrate. This one's a little bit eerie when you think about things, but born on this date in 1962, Mr. Scott Coletta. And if you watch racing at all and know anything about racing, to where you go into other racing sports and a series and such, tragically Scott was killed in 2007 at Englishtown, New Jersey, in a funny car race there, where I believe the throttle hung, and even though he had the chutes deployed, the car at the end of the runway or at the end of the drag strip kept going, and it hit the sand traps and everything, but apparently did hit something at the other end of the drag strip, and he was fatally injured. But with that came the ruling that NHRA, if they didn't have enough runoff room, or what NHRA deemed enough runoff room, the races would be shortened from a quarter-mile pass to a 1,000-foot pass, which has changed a lot in the NHRA dynamics in terms of top speed, ET, and all that. Also born on this date, excuse me, in 1969, I've only got one card. There's only two available, and I've only got one. 1998 Press Pass. Brian Germoni, Featherlight Southwest Tour champion. So Brian Germoni has one card. He's got two. The other one is the oil slick parallel of that. Born on this date in 1976. I've only got one card of this young lady, Leilani Munter, who raced some ARCA and Indy Lights and just a variety of series. There you see the little bit of information about her. Like I say, I don't like to focus rookie cards, but when it's the only one I have, my hand is shown. Born on this date, another driver born on this date, 10 years later than Leilani, on 1986, Mr. Justin Lofton. So was able to have a few of these cards of Mr. Lofton. Of course, he made some truck runs back in the mid-2000s. Not a lot of cards of him. There's a red parallel from Element. There's a 2013 Press Pass. I thought it was a gold foil, but it's not. And then there is a 2012 Press Pass. So we have a few cards of him. And the one that we had the most cards of, born on this date in 1997, current Xfinity Series star and championship contender, Mr. Brandon Jones. So there you go. This is going to be the big one for the day. Of course, Brandon will make his debut for Junior Motorsports tomorrow. He's driven for a lot of good teams. I know he's driven for RCR, Gibbs. I believe did he drive briefly for KHI? I believe he might have had a stint with Kevin Harvick as well near the end of KHI's run in the Xfinity Series. There you see him with the, he's got a Chevy logo on. There it is, the RCR logo right there by the Ukuma. The Toyota ones are obviously with JGR. Of course, he made some starts for Kyle Busch Motorsports in trucks. And was I believe it was the Venturini team that he ran some ARCA races for and had some success. If it wasn't them, it may have been, again, another KBM truck, or an ARCA car, I'm sorry. But Brandon, I think, is starting to really come around as far as being a good driver. When he came to the series, of course, his father was the CEO one time, or very, very high-ranking official of Rheem, which is why he's got so many sponsorship deals with Menards and all their vendor sponsors, because Rheem was one of the big vendor partners of Menards. And folks that don't know what Menards is, it's a Midwestern home improvement chain, much like Home Depot or Lowe's, based out of Eau Claire, Wisconsin. There's a nice card. And they have a really nice selection of not only hardware and tools and supplies and everything that you'd see like in a Home Depot or a Lowe's, but they also have a really, not a small grocery section, but they have a dry food section and a small frozen food section with some really unique foods. And we've, over the years, got some canned goods there that are really good, as well as other things. They have a nice, like some pet foods and supplies and such. But Menards, between those big three home improvement chains, I feel like a lot of folks out here in the Midwest really like Menards a lot better than Home Depot and Lowe's. But that's just my opinion. I know that like Atlanta, where Home Depot is based, and North Carolina, where Lowe's is based out of, those are going to have strangleholds there as well. So that's why you see those there, and the folks kind of are more passionate about those companies. But anyway, happy birthday to everyone that celebrated birthdays today. And again, like we always say, if they're no longer with us, hope their families, friends and families and fans will keep the memory alive of those folks. And the ones that are still with us, hope their day is well today. So anyway, thanks again for watching. There's a lot of activity on the track today. We'll be pulling for Brayton Laster, of course, in the ARCA race later today. Of course, we know him from the Speedrome, as he's raced several classes there over the years, as well as in local dirt tracks here around the Midwest. The Xfinity Series race will be later today, so that should be a good race as well. I think they got qualifying coming up here in a little bit, so I'll look forward to watching that and see who starts up front for that race, and it should be a wild race as well. So anyway, as always, thanks again for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, keep those comments rolling in. I really, really do appreciate everything that you guys do. That's kind of just, we're slowly getting up there in numbers. We're about 1,650 on subs. So as we get closer to that 2,000 mark, that will be a lot more exciting, and hoping we get there before the end of the year, because that would be really, really great if we could make 2,000 subs by the end of 2023. That would make it. It's been a 4-year journey right now. The channel will be 4 years old in September, so we're excited about that. But as always, thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Enjoy all the racing today, and we will see you tomorrow.